Hey, it's great to see you here. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so glad you found this corner of the internet where we talk all things dating, relationships, attraction, and yes, even the topics people are often too shy to bring up out loud. Now today we're diving into something that might make some people squirm, blush, or pretend they don't have questions about, but let's be honest, we all do. And that's exactly why we're going to talk about it with the right mix of honesty, playfulness, and confidence. We're talking about what men actually consider a good blowjob. Now, before you hit the exit button or assume this is going to be some crass step-by-step tutorial, relax. This isn't about vulgarity. It's about understanding what actually makes a moment like this deeply exciting and meaningful for him. Not just on a physical level, but on an emotional one too. Because here's the truth that might surprise you. For men, an incredible sexual experience isn't just about what you do, it's about how you make him feel. Desired, chosen, admired, and even emotionally safe. So whether you're in a long-term relationship or exploring a new connection, the insights I'm about to share will not only help you feel more confident and connected, but will also make you unforgettable in his mind. And not just for what you did, but for the energy and emotion behind it. This conversation is going to be playful, classy, and full of insight. So grab a cup of tea, or maybe a glass of wine, get comfortable, and let's talk about the 5 things men actually value most when it comes to oral intimacy. These might surprise you, but once you understand them, they'll change how you show up, not just in the bedroom, but in the way you carry your confidence overall. Let's dive in. When it comes to what men actually remember about an intimate moment like this, you might think it's all about the technical stuff, where your hands go, the rhythm, the pressure, all the tricks people talk about in magazines, or in hushed conversations with friends. But if you ask most men what truly made a moment like that stand out, they'll almost always say the same thing. It was how into it she was. Enthusiasm, not perfection, is what leaves a lasting impression. And I'm not talking about over-the-top acting or some kind of exaggerated performance. I'm talking about genuine presence, a real sense of connection and desire. The difference between a woman who's doing it because she feels like she should versus a woman who's doing it because she wants to. Because she's engaged, turned on by his reactions and enjoying the experience with him, not just doing something for him. Think about it this way. Have you ever received a gift where the wrapping was beautiful and the presentation was flawless, but deep down you could tell the person gave it out of obligation? Now compare that to receiving something small, maybe even imperfect, but given with so much love and joy that it made your heart light up. Which one do you remember more? That's the same principle here. When a woman is present, enjoying herself, exploring with confidence, even if she's not some technical expert, it creates a sense of safety and emotional electricity for him. It makes him feel seen and desired, not just physically, but as a man. And ironically, when you take the pressure off of being perfect, you actually become more attractive in the moment because you're relaxed, you're playful, you're connected. So many women get in their heads, am I doing this right? Is he comparing me to someone else? Should I do that thing I've read about online? But the truth is, men aren't sitting there ticking off a checklist of your performance. They're tuned into how you feel, your comfort, your energy, your enjoyment. That's what he remembers. That's what turns him on more than anything else. When you lead with enthusiasm, something magical happens. You give yourself permission to be curious, to laugh, to experiment. You remove the performance mask and let real intimacy in. That authenticity, that's what stays in his memory. That's what he'll be thinking about days or weeks later when you're not around. Not the perfection, the presence. So if you take nothing else from this point, take this. You don't need to be a pro. You just need to be present. Let go of the pressure to impress and tune into the moment. Because a woman who's turned on by her own desire, who's engaged with him, who's in it emotionally, not just physically, is irresistible. And in his eyes, she already gave the perfect experience just by being fully herself. There's something wildly underrated when it comes to intimacy, and it's not a special move or a hidden technique, it's eye contact. Now you might be thinking, really, that's it? But let me tell you, for a man, eye contact during intimate moments can be one of the most powerful, emotionally charged things you can offer, not just because it's sexy, but because of what it communicates. See, most men won't say this out loud, but deep down, they're not just looking to be physically desired, they want to feel like your attention is undivided. Like in that moment, nothing and no one else matters. Eye contact sends that exact message. It says, you're mine right now. I'm here with you. I see you and I want you. This simple act taps into something deeply primal and deeply emotional at the same time. When you lock eyes, even for a few seconds, it creates vulnerability, trust, and intensity. It's like saying with your eyes what words could never quite express. Desire, connection, confidence, even playfulness. And trust me, men pick up on it instantly. Now, I'm not suggesting you stare like you're in a staring contest. It's not about being intense every second. It's about those little intentional moments where your eyes meet and there's a flicker of something bold, confident, even a little mischievous. That's where the magic happens. Those brief connections break through the physical and touch something much deeper. His ego, yes, but also his heart. There's also a very subtle message in eye contact that says, I'm not ashamed to want you. And you'd be surprised how deeply that hits. Because here's the reality, so many men walk through life unsure if they're truly wanted, desired maybe, used even. But when a woman looks at him with a bold, knowing gaze that says, I want you right now exactly as you are, it hits him in a way that no technique ever could. It's validating, it's exciting, and it's unforgettable. What's more, eye contact makes him feel seen, not just as a physical body, but as a man. That connection helps drop his guard. It turns a physical moment into something more emotional, more connected. And that's what keeps him coming back, not just for the act, but for the feeling you gave him. So don't underestimate the power of your gaze. Use it playfully, use it tenderly, and use it boldly. You don't need to say a word. One look can tell him everything. You're mine tonight, and I'm enjoying every second. That moment of eye contact might last only 2 seconds, but the impression, that can last a lifetime. Here's something most women underestimate. Men actually love to know they're turning you on. It's one of the biggest turn-ons for a guy, seeing that you're enjoying yourself. That's what makes the experience feel mutual, exciting, and emotionally fulfilling, not just physical. So when it comes to something like giving him pleasure, don't make it one-sided. Let him know what you enjoy too. So many people treat intimacy like a performance. One person gives, the other receives. But the most unforgettable moments happen when it feels like a dance, when there's feedback, when there's chemistry flowing back and forth. And part of that comes from you expressing your own desire and enjoyment in real time. This doesn't mean you need to narrate everything you're feeling, but your body language, your sounds, the way you respond to his touch, these are powerful ways of showing him that you're present, connected, and genuinely turned on. A little moan, a soft giggle, a sigh of pleasure. They may seem subtle, but they have a massive impact. Why? Because it reassures him. It tells him you're doing something right. And that boosts his confidence like nothing else. It makes him want to keep going. It deepens his attraction to you. Men, even the most confident ones, want to feel like they're winning with you in that moment, that they're having an impact. And the best way to give him that experience is to stop holding back. When you lean into your pleasure, when you show that you're enjoying the way he tastes, the way he smells, the way he responds, it sends a message that says, this isn't just about you. I want this too. And that kind of energy that's addictive to a man. There's also something incredibly empowering about letting your pleasure guide you. It shows confidence. It says, I know what I like, I'm in tune with my body, and I'm not afraid to enjoy this moment for me, not just for you. That's magnetic. That's what separates a forgettable experience from one that keeps replaying in his mind. And it's not just about the physical reactions either. Little compliments or whispers can take things to another level. You don't have to say anything elaborate. Sometimes just a soft, I love making you feel this good, or you taste amazing, can light him up from the inside out. Words like that aren't just dirty talk. They're emotional anchors. They make him feel deeply desired, and that is incredibly bonding. So don't be quiet. Don't shrink. Don't treat your pleasure like it's secondary. Let it lead the way. Because when you show up with confidence, when you share what you enjoy, it becomes so much more than just something you do for him. It becomes something unforgettable that he feels on every level. There's one quality that can transform even the most basic physical moment into something wildly unforgettable. And it's not a special move, a specific technique, or even lingerie. It's confidence. Confidence is the secret ingredient that makes everything you do feel 10 times more exciting and magnetic. And here's the real kicker. It's not about looking like a model or being some kind of expert in bed. It's about the way you own who you are in the moment, the way you move, the way you touch, the way you act like you belong there. Not because you're trying to impress him, but because you know that you are the prize. So many women get caught in the trap of self-critique. Does my stomach look okay in this position? Is he noticing that stretch mark? Am I doing this right? And while those thoughts are completely human, they can actually take you out of the moment and into your own head, which ironically disconnects you from the very thing that makes you most attractive, your presence. Men aren't sitting there analyzing your every move the way you think they are. In fact, what turns them on most is when you stop second guessing and start owning the moment, when you touch him with certainty, when you smile because you're enjoying it, when you're bold enough to lead, to guide, to explore. That's what makes him feel like, damn, she knows her power. And confidence doesn't mean you never feel nervous. It means you don't let those nerves run the show. You bring your authentic self forward anyway. You get playful. You get curious. You try things, not because they're guaranteed to be perfect, but because you're confident enough to explore and enjoy the experience as it unfolds. Even small things like maintaining eye contact, whispering something cheeky, or taking your time feel 10 times hotter when they're done from a place of self-assurance rather than insecurity. And here's a little secret. The more you act confidently, the more confident you'll actually start to feel. It's a loop. You show up with energy and intention, and he reflects that energy back to you, making you feel even more desired, which then deepens your confidence again. And let's be clear, confidence isn't about dominance. It's about comfort in your own skin. It's the kind of confidence that says, I know who I am and I know what I bring. That's sexy. That's unforgettable. That makes a man feel lucky to be in your presence because you're not begging for approval. You're inviting connection. So if you really want to blow his mind, don't focus on the performance. Focus on how you carry yourself. Confidence is the most powerful aphrodisiac in the room. And when you lead with it, even in the smallest gestures, you instantly elevate the entire experience for both of you. When people talk about unforgettable intimacy, they often stop the conversation when the physical part ends. But here's the truth that separates a fleeting moment from one that leaves a deep emotional imprint: aftercare. And I don't just mean cuddling, though that can be part of it. I mean the way you hold space after the intensity, the way you make him feel emotionally safe, valued, and still desired, even when the clothes are back on and the moment is technically over. Most people underestimate how powerful this is, because in those quiet moments after pleasure, a man is at his most emotionally open. His defenses are down. His heart is more available. That's when real connection can be deepened, and when the memory of you becomes so much more than just physical. What does this look like in practice? It's the way you touch him afterward, the softness in your voice, the casual way you run your fingers across his chest or stroke his hair. It's a kiss on the shoulder. It's a whispered, "That was fun," or even a light laugh as you pull him closer. These gestures might seem small, but they're actually deeply reassuring. They tell him, this wasn't just about a moment of pleasure. I see you. I feel something with you. And for the emotionally mature man, that's what keeps him coming back. You see, men may enjoy the physical experience, but what they crave is emotional safety. They want to know they're not just being used for their bodies. They want to feel like they mattered in that moment, that they made you feel good, not just physically, but emotionally. And aftercare is where that reassurance lives. Even something as simple as laying your head on his chest or making a cheeky little joke that makes you both laugh. Those are the moments that linger in his memory because they say, I'm still with you, even now. That's real intimacy. And here's where it gets powerful. When you initiate that kind of care, when you offer that emotional softness first, it doesn't just make him feel secure, it actually builds trust. It makes him more likely to open up next time, to feel safe being vulnerable with you, to invest emotionally. And that, more than anything else, is how lasting bonds are formed. So don't rush to move on. Don't treat the end of intimacy like a finish line. Use that space afterward to deepen the moment. Show affection, laugh, connect. Give him something emotional to hold on to, because when you do, he won't just remember the physical, he'll remember you, the way you made him feel, like the experience mattered, like he mattered. And in the end, that's what every man, whether he admits it or not, is truly looking for. So let's bring this all together. What men truly consider a good experience, one that lingers in their mind long after, isn't just about what you do, it's about how you do it. The confidence you bring, the emotional energy behind your touch, the way you connect with your eyes, the way you respond with your pleasure, and most importantly, the way you make him feel after it's all done. Because in the end, great intimacy isn't a checklist. It's a connection. It's how safe, wanted, and seen he feels in your presence. And if you can master that, if you can tune into those deeper layers, you're not just giving him physical pleasure, you're giving him an experience he won't find anywhere else. And that's your power. Now, if you found this helpful or eye-opening, don't forget to hit that like button. It helps more than you know. Subscribe to the channel if you want more real, no fluff advice on love, attraction, and emotional connection. And in the comments below, tell me, what do you think makes for unforgettable chemistry? You're not here to play small. You're here to connect deeply, love boldly, and show up as the most magnetic version of yourself. And trust me, he'll feel it.